I absolutely still really love using this as my daily mouse. When Gravastar told me that they had a new product coming out and that I was probably gonna like it, I had to take a look at it. Can Gravastar make another product like this mouse that just blows me away? Let's take a closer look to see what they sent over. Look at this thing, doesn't it just look so cool? I'm really excited to take a closer look at this. As of making this review, I'm not sure how much this is going to cost, but my guess would be somewhere between 120 to 180 US dollars. This looks like a really premium keyboard, so I'm kind of thinking that this is going to come with a premium cost. Without further ado though, let's take a closer look to see what the Mercury K1 Pro is. To my knowledge, this is only going to come in the 75% variety. This also has full RGB, double shot keycaps. This is made out of aluminum alloy. And of course, it has hot swappable switches. By default, this is going to come with MX structured linear switches. These also have gold plated contacts, so they should be pretty good, but we'll take a closer look to see what these sound like. On the back, it tells us a little bit more about this. There should be two models with this one. This is the Pro model here, which is the silver. The other one should come in black. This is a 79 key keyboard. It has Bluetooth 5.0. This comes with a huge 8000 milliamp hour battery. And this thing weighs 1.18 kilograms. This is a very heavy keyboard. These have gasket mounted switches, so it should improve the sound dampening on them a little bit. This has 3 different connection modes. You can use 2.4 gigahertz with it, and that has a 1000 hertz polling rate. This has Bluetooth 5.0, and if you connect this wired, it'll go all the way up to 8000 hertz, which is absolutely crazy for a keyboard. This high-end model here has a fiberglass positioning plate, but let's open this box and take a closer look at the keyboard itself. As mentioned, this was sent over by Gravastar, but they're not seeing this review beforehand. All opinions are my own, and of course, they're not paying me for this review. As always, I'm just going to give you guys my honest thoughts to what I think about these products. Alright, so let's open up this massive box and take a closer look at what comes in the package. I actually really like this packaging. I think it looks really clean, very professional. It's worth noting as well that this was shipped out with DHL. I'm not sure what shipping Gravastar uses on their website. I think this will likely be available on Amazon too eventually. So let's take the top off this box and see what's inside. Underneath that, we have the keyboard. There's a nice little manual that's included. Tells us a little bit more about the keyboard. So the battery life on this should be about 33 hours with the default lighting. But if you shut off the lights, that'll go up to 666 hours. That's crazy. Those lights must really drain a lot of battery. I still leave them on though, because 33 hours is still quite a bit. This will show us how to do all the different connection modes. There's also a little cheat sheet here with all the hotkeys. I always recommend keeping these little instruction manuals just in case you need to refer back. This also shows us how to control the lighting modes. Let's pull out the keyboard, and I'm going to set this aside for a second. I'm assuming this little black box underneath the keyboard comes with all the cables you're going to need. And a nice long 4 to 6 foot cable. This is USB-A to USB-C. I would only recommend charging this using your computer. Alright, let's check this out. Wow, look at that. First impressions of the keyboard, they're pretty good. I gotta admit, this feels extremely premium. This feels like a completely solid chunk of aluminum. Taking a quick first look at the keyboard itself, we have some nice adjustable feet. These feet have a nice rubber end on them so it doesn't scratch your desk. In the top right corner, there's a little volume adjustment switch. You can just move this up or down and it'll make a nice click to it. If you push this in, it'll mute or unmute your volume. There's a little mirrored finish display on here. I'm not sure what this is, but my guess is some sort of LED readout. We'll take a closer look at this when we start it up. The keys have a very dark gray speckled design to them. I think this looks pretty cool considering the metal finish around the outside. There's a little bit of Gravastar branding on the enter key. On the top left corner, the escape key's got some more Gravastar branding. I think this looks pretty cool too. Personally, I wish that they would have gone a little crazier with the keyboard design. On the front of the keyboard, we have those lights. On the left side, we don't really have anything of interest, but there is some lighting as well. We have more of that lighting on the right side. On the top, there's a few different things. We can swap between the Windows or the Mac mode. Since I'm a primary Windows user, I'm just going to leave this on Windows. The USB-C is on the top as well. And we have the mode switch over here too. It's currently switched to off, but you can switch this between the wireless or the Bluetooth mode. We have that nice mechanical look on the back. In the center, there's a nice smooth metal. In the top center, there is also the 2.4 GHz USB dongle. This will automatically magnet into this spot, and it stays in there nicely. There's 4 rubber feet on each of the sides. This looks really nice. Part of me does wish that they would have continued with that metal around the edge all the way around the center. But the plastic looks really nice too, and you're not really going to see this unless you flip the keyboard over. Just as a side note as well, this really matches their mouse well. Let's double check the weight on this keyboard. It comes to 1180.6 grams, so just over a kilogram. We can compare this to my current keyboard of choice, the Newfie Halo 75, which is 1.2 kilograms. This is only slightly heavier, but the back is completely made out of aluminum on this. I've been using this one for a while, and I really like it, but it does feel extremely heavy. I would give the build quality on this probably a solid 8.5 or 9. This feels extremely premium. The entire outer shell is made out of aluminum. This part here is also aluminum, so everything on this is aluminum. The keycaps are of course plastic. This part up here is made out of metal, and the legs are completely made out of metal. As mentioned, the only plastic that I can see is just around the outside on the back. The center portion is completely made out of metal. So yeah, the build quality is excellent. The keycaps feel really good quality too. All in all, this just feels like one really solid keyboard, and I really like it so far. Taking a closer look at the comfort of this keyboard, it's pretty good. It is only slightly raised, and this makes it very comfortable to type on. There is a little bit of an angle to it, but it's not too bad. With these fully extended, it only sits up ever so slightly on the back. I can barely fit my fingertip underneath the edge. The bottom is completely flush with my desk. But yeah, this is very comfortable. If you push in the feet the entire way, it's going to lift at the back ever so slightly. I can almost put my finger underneath it now. This is going to angle the keyboard up slightly. Personally, I like my keyboard flush with the table. I was using the Newfie Air 75 for a long time, so I'm just used to very flat keyboards, but this is not bad at all. Let's pull off one of these keycaps and take a closer look. This is what the back of the keycap looks like. It's pretty high quality. There's black plastic on the inside, and the outside is made out of that gray plastic. They have a very solid feel to them. Removing that keycap actually showed me something too, and just take a closer look at this beautiful gold design underneath these keycaps. This gold almost has kind of a copper look to it, and it looks really nice with this gray. I think it also has the design underneath too, but yeah, I'm not going to remove all these keys and put them back on. What do you guys think? Do you like this gold look? The Keycap Wobble is very similar to what I've seen from Newfie keyboards. They also don't feel like they're bottoming out either once you push them down. It kind of feels soft, but it's got a nice tactile feel to it as well. Also talking about the build quality, let's see if this keyboard has any flex to it. It's pretty solid when you're pushing on the sides here. In the center, there's a little bit of flex, but I really have to push quite hard to see this, and I don't think this is an issue at all. Again, this is very similar to what I see from Newfie. That's a very solid keyboard. With the legs fully extended, I'm not seeing any wobble on this. So I've just connected this. Let's turn this on and check it out. I guess that little notification down here was just like a little LED. It is changing colors pretty quick though. I wonder if there's a way to change this. You can see a very solid glow from behind the keys, and the front has a nice glow as well. So the hotkeys on this are pretty simple. You press the function and this to connect to 2.4 gigahertz. And then your function 1, 2, and 3 are your Bluetooth modes. So you can connect to 3 different Bluetooth devices with this. Not sure if you have to hold this down to connect to it, but it seems to be working. This isn't controlling my volume though right now, so I'm kind of wondering if this is disabled by default. As of writing this review, the software hasn't been updated for this keyboard yet in particular, but it should be public soon. So let's take a closer look at the lighting modes and see what the lighting looks like in general. I'm going to shut off these lights so you can take a closer look at that. We have a simple mode here with just lighting around the outside. I think this looks really subtle. We also have just a simple RGB effect. This is just going to cycle through all the different colors. The next lighting mode is like a reaction mode. Anytime you press one of the keys, it's going to react to it. Then we have one that is definitely something like of a ripple effect. You press the key and it's going to send out a wave to where you're typing. You can also adjust the brightness, so this is somewhat more subtle. Then there's this mode, which is kind of like a sparkle effect. It's just going to have all the keys just cycling through different colors. Then there's a cycle here. You can also change the color of these effects by pressing the function button and tab. This is going to cycle through all the different colors. It's worth going through here and finding something that you like. Let's see if there's any other lighting modes. There's just one here where you can type and it'll slowly fade off the keys. This one is also pretty neat. It's like a reacting wave. You can change the color on this as well. We have like a strobing neon effect. You can't seem to change the color on this mode though. This is just going to be a neon effect. There's one where it cycles all the colors up and down, pulsates the colors out. You have your traditional gamer mode, which highlights the WASD and the arrow keys. Then there's one that looks like it shuts off all the lights. I'll probably leave it on this solid color here, then just turn down some of the brightness a little bit, but the lighting is pretty good. The lights on the side make it almost look somewhat alien-like, doesn't it? So let's turn on the lights and look at a little bit more with this keyboard. We're going to do a quick sound test next, but I'm going to show you what this sounds like first. I'm going to compare this to my switch of choice, which is the Otemu Silent Ocean switches. These are basically completely silent. I really like these, but I have kind of grown accustomed to red switches, so let's just put these in and see what it sounds like. So let me show you the difference between these two. Remember, this is the traditional key and M is the Silent Ocean switch. Now, let me show you what typing on this keyboard sounds like. I'm going to swap this M back to its original switch, and let's just do a quick typing test. As it sits, I think this is a really good keyboard, and Gravastar has really made something special here. I love the alien-like design. The entire keyboard just feels completely solid, and I'm impressed with the build quality, to say the least. I wish they would have gone a little crazier maybe with the design on these keycaps, but since everything's swappable, you can just put your own. What kind of keycaps would you put on here? I think these switches are also really nice, but I'll probably swap these to the quieter ones that I've been using. But I do really like this Gravastar Enter key, and I do really like their Escape key. But the solid gray looks really good on this gunmetal design. What do you think about the keycap design choice? These little feet are really cool, and it does let you adjust your keyboard in a few different ways. It also looks really unique. I've just never seen a product like this. All these Gravastar products just look phenomenal. All in all, I'm very happy to recommend this product, and I can't wait to see what Gravastar comes out with next. If you're interested in picking one of these keyboards up, there'll be links in the description below. What do you guys think about this keyboard, and is it something unique enough for you, or do you wish they would have gone a little crazier with the design? There's a lot of ways to customize this keyboard, and a lot of things you can do with how it looks. I haven't had any issues with it yet, but if I have any issues or any updates, I'll make sure to leave a pinned comment down below. I am really curious though, what do you think about this keyboard, and is it something that you would consider? If you have any questions about Gravastar's new keyboard, make sure to ask in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and as always, thanks for watching.